Jai Shri Giriraj Govardhanju Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivrajakaacharya Astaterasata Shri Shriman Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivrajakaacharya Astaterasata Shri Shriman Srila Bhakti Rakak Sri Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai. Welcome to Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mission Morning Class. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jata Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitangstam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parichana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vidangscha Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Haribo. Jai, continuing to read the 5th chapter of the Adi Lila of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, the glories of Lord Nityananda Balaram. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Ki Jai. Srila Om Vishnupade Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jajapi Kevala Tara Krida Mata Dharma Tatapi Jivere Kripaya Kari Akka Karma. Although his pastimes are his only characteristic functions, by his causeless mercy, he performs one activity for the fallen souls. Shalokya Samipya Shasti Swarupya Prakara Chari Mukti Diyakare Jivara Nishtara. He delivers the fallen and living entities by offering them the 4 kinds of liberation: Salokya, Samipya, Sharsti, and Sarupya. There are 2 kinds of liberated souls. This is the purport. Those who are liberated by the favor of the Lord and those who are liberated by their own effort. One who gets liberation by his own effort is called an impersonalist, and he merges into the glaring effulgence of the Lord, the Brahma Jyoti. But devotees of the Lord who qualify themselves for liberation by devotional service are offered 4 kinds of liberation, namely Shalokya, a status equal to that of the Lord, or being on the same, living in the same abode as the Lord; Samipya, constant association with the Lord; Sharsti, opulence equal to that of the Lord; and Sarupya, features like that of the Lord. Brahma Sayuja Muktera Tahanahi Gati Vaikunta Bahire Hai Tasabarastiti. Those who attain Brahma Sayuja liberation cannot gain entrance into Vaikunta. Their residence is outside of the Vaikunta planets. Vaikunta Bahire Akajotirmaya Mandala Krishnera Angera Prabha Parama Ujjwala. Outside of the Vaikunta planets is an atmosphere of the glowing effulgence, which consists of the supremely bright rays of the body of Lord Krishna. Siddhaloka Namatara Prakritira Para Chit Swarupa Tahanahi Chit Chakti Vikara. That region is called Siddhaloka, and it is beyond the material nature. Its essence is spiritual, but it does not have any spiritual variety, because spiritual variety means devotion, devotional exchange. Surya Mandala Jaina Bahire Nirvishesha Vitare Suryera Ratari Savishesha. It is like the homogeneous effulgence around the sun, but inside the sun are the chariots, horses, and other opulences of the sun god. Purport: outside of Vaikuntha, the abode of Krishna, which is called Pardavyom, is the glaring effulgence of Krishna's bodily rays. This is called the Brahma Jyoti. The transcendental region of that effulgence is called Siddhaloka, or Brahmaloka. Not Brahmaloka meaning where Lord Brahma lives, but the Brahman effulgence. When impersonalists achieve liberation, they merge into that Brahmaloka effulgence. This transcendental region is undoubtedly spiritual, but it contains no manifestations of spiritual activities or variegatedness. It is compared to the glow of the sun. Within the sun's glow is the sphere of the sun, where one can experience all sorts of varieties. So that is a good example. Text 35. Kama dveshad bayat snehad jata bhakti shvare mana aveshatad agam hitva bhavastad gatim gataha. As through devotion to the Lord one can attain his abode, many have attained that goal by abandoning their sinful activities and absorbing their minds in the Lord through lust, envy, fear, or affection. As through devotion to the Lord one can attain his abode, as here meaning because through devotion to the Lord one can attain his abode, many have attained that goal by abandoning their sinful activities and absorbing their minds in the Lord through lust, envy, fear, or affection. There's also a verse in the Brahma Samhita that speaks about this, different kinds of ways of approaching the Lord. As the powerful sun, by its glowing rays, can purify all kinds of impurities, so the all-spiritual personality of Godhead can purify all material qualities in a person he attracts. Even if one is attracted by Godhead in the mode of material lust, such attraction is converted into spiritual love of Godhead by his grace. That will become purified. Similarly, if one is related to the Lord in fear and animosity, he also becomes purified by the spiritual attraction of the Lord, usually through being killed by the Lord and gaining some liberation. Although God is great and the living entities small, they are spiritual individuals, and therefore as soon as there is a reciprocal exchange by the living entity's free will, at once the great spiritual being attracts the small living entity, thus freeing him from all material bondage. This is a verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam. And last, of course, the very famous example is Dhruva Maharaj, who approached the Lord for material gain, but because of coming in touch with the Lord, all those material motives were purified, and he felt very ashamed of himself. He said, I approached you for pieces of broken glass, but now I am finding the most precious gem. Tad Aryam Priyanam cha prapyam ekam ivoditam tad Brahma Krishnayor aikyat kiranar kopama juso Aryam. Aryam, the enemies. of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When it has been stated that the Lord's enemies and devotees attain the same destination, this refers to the ultimate oneness of Brahman and Lord Krishna. The same destination meaning liberation, or no, I shouldn't say liberation really, but the same destination meaning leaving the mundane atmosphere. This may be understood by the analogy of the sun and the sunshine, in which Brahman is like the sunshine and Krishna himself is like the sun. Purport. This is a verse from Upadesamrita Sindhu of Srila Rupa Goswami, who further discusses the same topic in his Lagu Bhagavatamrita. There he refers to the Vishnu Purana, where Maitreya Muni asked Parashara in regard to Jaya and Vijay, how it was that Hiranyakashipu next became Ravana and enjoyed more material happiness than the demigods, but did not attain salvation. Although, when he became Shishupal, quarreled with Krishna and was killed, he attained salvation and merged into the body of Lord Krishna. Parashara replied that Hiranyakashipu failed to recognize Lord Nrsingadev as Lord Vishnu. He thought that Nrsingadev was some living entity who had acquired such opulence by various pious activities. Being overcome by the mode of passion, he considered Lord Nrsingadev an ordinary living entity, not understanding his form. So he started fighting with him. You think, I'll just kill this guy. Nrsingadev in his next life, he became Ravana and had proprietorship of unlimited opulence. As Ravana, with unlimited material enjoyment, he could not accept Lord Rama as the personality of Godhead. Therefore, even though he was killed by Rama, he did not attain Sayuja or oneness with the body of the Lord. In his Ravana body, he was too much attracted to Rama's wife Janaki, and because of that attraction, he was able to see Lord Rama. But instead of accepting Lord Rama as an incarnation of Vishnu, Ravana thought him an ordinary living being. When killed by the hands of Rama, therefore, he got the privilege of taking birth of Shishupal, who had such immense opulence that he could think himself a competitor of Krishna. Although Shishupal was always envious of Krishna, he frequently uttered the name of Krishna and always thought of the beautiful features of Krishna. Thus, by constantly thinking and chanting of Krishna, even unfavorably, he was cleansed of the contamination of his sinful activities. And when Shishupal was killed by the Sudarshan Chakra of Krishna as an enemy, his constant remembrance of Krishna dissolved the reactions of his vices, and he attained salvation of becoming one with the body of the Lord. So it's not that, Srila Guru Maharaj said, it's not that every demon that was killed by Krishna attains Sayuja Mukti. From this incident, one can understand that even a person who thinks of Krishna as an enemy and is killed by him may be liberated by becoming one with the body of Krishna, meaning his effulgence. What then must be the destination of the devotees, who always think favorably of Krishna as their friend or master? These devotees must attain a situation better than Brahmaloka, the impersonal bodily effulgence of Krishna. Devotees cannot be situated in the impersonal Brahman effulgence into which impersonalists desire to merge. The devotees are placed in the Vaikuntha Loka or Krishna Loka to have positive, because this is their desire, to have positive serving relationship with the Lord. This discussion between Maitreya Muni and Parashara Muni centered on whether devotees come down to the material world in every millennium like Jaya and Vijay, who were cursed by the Kumaras to that effect. In the course of these instructions to Maitreya about Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, and Shishupal, Parashara did not say that these demons were formerly Jaya and Vijay. He simply described the transmigration through these lives. And we have to remember that these great munis, they're just like when you hear the traffic reports. If you live in a big city and you have to go somewhere, you'll want to listen to the traffic reports. And those reports are given from a helicopter because they can see the whole picture. So these munis, they can see the souls transmigrating from one body to another. They're not in the same position as the living entities in lower consciousness. So they can describe, yes, Ravana became Hiranyakashipu became Shishupal, and Shishupal was liberated. They can observe all that from a higher perspective of consciousness. In the course of these transactions to Maitreya about Hiranyakashipu, Ravana and Parashara did not. It is not necessary for the Vaikuntha associates of the Supreme Personality of Godhead to come to take the rules of his enemies in all the millenniums in which he appears. The roles of his enemies in all the millenniums in which he appears. The fall down of Jaya and Vijaya occurred in a particular millennium. Jaya and Vijaya do not come down in every millennium to act as demons. To think that some of the associates of the Lord fall down from Vaikuntha in every millennium to become demons is totally incorrect. This was a particular pastime. And also, we can remember that from the Bhagavatam that this pastime was actually the desire of the Lord. No one actually falls down from Vaikuntha. That's not possible. They're firmly situated. But at the same time, they were made to become bewildered and act in a very disrespectful way toward the four Kumaras who approached them to visit Lord Narayan. They acted in a very dismissive and unhumble way, which is not characteristic of the inhabitants of Vaikuntha. But this was an arrangement of the Lord, just like Arjuna. There was an arrangement by the Lord that Arjuna became very temporarily bewildered, and from that ensued Bhagavad Gita. So there are many angles in which to look at this story, and they're all true. They're facets of the same gem. But the Lord wanted to fight, and there's no one in the material world that's even, can even offer him a contest. So one of his own associates came down to fight with him, and he had a very good fight with Ravana, and he had a very good fight with Hiranyakashipu, and had a very satisfying interaction with Shishupal. Oh dear, it's very funny. Oh, I think that Prabhupada's coming to this now. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has all the tendencies that may be found in the living entity, for he is the chief living entity. Therefore, it is natural that sometimes the Lord wants a fight, okay? Just as he had tendencies to create, to enjoy, to be a friend, to accept a mother and father and so on, he also has a tendency to fight. Sometimes important landlords and kings keep wrestlers with whom they can practice mock fighting, and Vishnu makes similar arrangements. The demons who fight with the Supreme Personality of God in the material world are sometimes his associates. When there's a scarcity of demons and the Lord wants to fight, he instigates some of his associates, the Vaikuntha, to come and play as demons. So he gave Jaya and Vijaya he gave them a choice. He said, you can go 3 times as my enemies, or 7 times as my devotees to the material world, because they were cursed to go and experience the material world because they were acting in an egotistic way. But again, that was the Lord's arrangement, Lord Narayan's arrangement. So when they came as demons, they were big demons. They weren't little demons. They were big demons, like universal style of demons. The demigods were shaking in their chapels, or what, the demigods were really afraid of Hiranyakashipu. He had so much power. He'd snap his fingers and any one of them would pour his tea for him. It was, so that was the situation, and that's the one that the Lord wanted to fight with. Jaya and Vijay became those persons. When there's a scarcity of demons and the Lord wants to fight, he instigates some of his associates of Vaikuntha to come and play as demons. When it is said that Sisupal merged into the body of Krishna, it should be noted that in this case, he was not Jai or Vijay, he was actually a demon. Okay. In his Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Srila Sanatana Goswami has explained that the attainment of salvation by merging into the Brahman effulgence of the Lord cannot be accepted as the highest success in life, because demons like Kamsa, who are famous for killing Brahmins and cows, attain that salvation. For devotees, such salvation is abominable. Devotees are actually in a transcendental position, whereas non-devotees are candidates for hellish conditions of life. There is always a difference between the life of a devotee and the life of a demon, and their realizations are as different as heaven and hell. Demons are always accustomed to being malicious towards devotees and killing Brahmins and cows. For demons, merging into the Brahman effulgence may feel very glorious, but for devotees, it is hellish. They never want that position. And the reference in Brihad Bhagavatam, at least one of those references, is when Gopakumar goes to Tapaloka Janaloka, Siddhaloka. He goes to Siddhaloka, he meets I think it is Siddhaloka, but anyway, he meets the 4 Kumars there. But in the atmosphere there, he kept feeling this merging into this divine effulgence, and he really didn't like it, because he already had a taste for relationship with the Lord because of his mantra being given by his Gurudev. He was very attentive in chanting this mantra, and any time he conceived of going to a higher plane of consciousness, he did so by meditation on his Gopal mantra. So when that would happen, he would experience, because of the atmosphere of that plane, that non-differentiated Brahman effulgence, he was very upset by it. And he was congratulated for such an attainment, but he didn't like it. He wanted to go back to Jagannath Puri and live with Lord Jagannath there. So this is a very beautiful example. Those who aspire to merge into the Brahman effulgence are as abominable as demons, because there is an aversion to the Lord there. Devotees who aspire to associate with the Supreme Lord, to render him transcendental loving service, are far superior. Any questions?
So Hiranyakashipu was an associate of the Lord from Vaikuntha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he came as a demon.
Mm-hmm.
So he had that full demoniac mentality.
He was a demon.
Well, but really, by the arrangement, he became a demon. But this is with like a temporary arrangement by the Lord.
Because he wanted to fight.
He wanted a good fight, not these little demons. He wanted a real good one. So he picked his own associate, because all the associates of the Lord in Vaikuntha are very powerful. They're all very powerful. They're fully devoted in service to the Lord. But that is their service in this world. We don't like it. We don't. The idea of slavery in this world is really We don't like it, that idea, of course. It's oppression. But slavery to the Lord, full devoted service to the Lord, is very opulent. Opulent. It's a very exalted position, but it has to be very genuine. No one. So anyway, there's so much to say about all of these things, but they're all very powerful. And again, we were talking about this in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita when Gopakumar comes to the gates of Vaikuntha. And all these extraordinary personnel. And there's another thing I wanted to say about this. The associates of Lord Nityananda, this is this chapter. There are many associates of Lord Balaram who came to this world along with Nityananda Prabhu. Many Nityananda Prabhu's great followers like Miniketan Ramdas, they are eternal associates of Lord Balaram. They're cowherd boys. But what are they doing? They're fighting with cobras and smacking tigers. They're not like little boys. They're all like, I want to say badasses. They're all very powerful. They're hanging out with Balaram. Bala means strength.
And what is the meaning of Ram?
Ram means very attractive.
Oh.
Anyway, these are beautiful things, wonderful, wonderful things. And really when we come to the associates of Nityananda Prabhu and read about some of them, it's amazing. And we just at the beginning of this chapter, when Krishnadas Kaviraj wanted to leave his brother, because his brother did not give proper honor to Miniketan Ramdas. So Miniketan Ramdas is non-different from Nityananda Prabhu. Like Gurudev is non-different from Krishna. He's fully representing Krishna. His whole heart belongs to Krishna. His every movement is the service of the Lord. It's transcendental. So when someone disregards Gurudev, that is a full offense to the Lord. So in disregarding Miniketan Ramdas, that was a full offense to Nityananda Prabhu, and that is why Miniketan Ramdas couldn't tolerate it. If we represent someone, if someone represents someone and that representative is dishonored, that is a way of insulting his master. So Miniketan Ramdas broke his flute. The cowherd boys carry flutes and so many wonderful things. But that flute was like a tree. It was huge. And another, who was it? And anyway, the associates of Nityananda Prabhu are amazing. One has a big whip. And if he touches anyone with that whip, they get love of God. I mean, this is unreal. Jai Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. Jai Saparshad Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai.
Can't wait to hear about them.
Oh my goodness. Me either. I want to sneak ahead. Anyway, this is such a lovely, wonderful chapter. And of course, Srila Prabhupada, in his temples, there is Gaur and Nityananda. Nityananda and Mahaprabhu are always there because he is also one of those great followers of Nityananda Prabhu and a Shakti Vaishavatar of Nityananda Prabhu, fully empowered by Nityananda Prabhu to spread the glories of Mahaprabhu. This world is very boring, but this world is very exciting. Where God is playing, If you, I have never read Garga Samhita. I was always a little worried about maybe it wouldn't be a proper translation. I don't know which one, blah, blah, thinking like that. And I opened it one day because it was sitting here, and it was a description of Krishna going into the forest and a description of a banyan tree where they were playing. I mean, just the description of the banyan tree was completely astonishing. Just the tree. If we want to be the enjoyer, we are so constricted in our existence and in our consciousness, in our awareness, in our experience. Like if you want to have an illusion, it's very, like persons who take a lot of drugs, they become like very restricted because of that. But those who are, their consciousness is free and pure and devoted, they become starting to come in touch with the infinite. Infinite, not just a lot. The absolute reality. Jaya Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jaya, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj ki Jaya, Srila Om Vishnupad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jaya. Any questions, Damodar Prabhu? All right. We are now on page 343 of Sri Upadesamrita by Srila Rupa Goswami Pad. Jai Srila Rupa Goswami ki Jai, and all of his followers. Rupanuga Sampradaya, Rupanuga Guru Varga ki Jai. All right. Text 343. Jaina Janma Satai Purvang Vasudeva Samarchitaha Tanmukhe Harinamani Sadatishtanti Bharata. That's from the Hari Bhakti Vilad. O descendant of Bharat, the names of Hari always remain in the mouth of those who previously worshipped Vasudeva for 100 births. This is the great result of such a thing, is that the name of Hari is always in their mouth. We should chant the name of Hari 24 hours a day, every day. Those who are qualified to engage in bhajan at all times always think, everyone is engaged in Hari bhajan. Only I have not performed any Hari bhajan. They have no conception that some are good, some are bad. If beginners, intermediates, or persons with selfish desires, however, imitate advanced devotees and think, I will not conceive of good and bad. This is a big disease in the world right now. In the name of being liberal, there's no discrimination, so everyone becomes rotten. If beginners or intermediates or persons with selfish desires, however, imitate advanced devotees and think, I will not conceive of good and bad, good association and bad association are all the same, then they will fall into bad association and will not be able to enter even the proximity of the land of bhajan. We should offer obeisances to intermediate devotees and honor beginners. That is, we should give them enthusiasm. But enthusiasm for what? We have to know for what. We should honor pandas who guide pilgrims at holy places. They engage in worship. We should offer obeisances to devotees, and we should serve experts in bhajan with our body, mind, and words. We should remain engaged in their service at all times. To external vision, we should even leave the service of Bhagavan to serve the devotees. But of course that is also serving Bhagavan. That's why Srila Saraswati Thakur is saying to external vision. So there's those three things. We honor the pandas. Pandas are like persons in, and some of them were very great. We know some stories of some of the pandas who were very great devotees. But generally they're sort of general devotees, and they're worshiping the Lord in a sort of general way. So we give honor to them. Krishneti yasya giritam manasadreta. They're not offenders to the holy name. Those who are chanting in an offensive way, we're not giving honor to them. But from a distance, because we're intermediate devotees. But the high devotees, they have a different kind of vision. But we're intermediate devotees, or, if we can say that, trying to practice that. So we are making some distinction there, and there is a distinction as far as we are concerned. But those who have taken initiation into the holy name in a bona fide line, not just any initiation that you can find on any street corner in India, and you can pay enough money and get a new name. I never forget this girl, and I keep mentioning her, but it was such a surprising thing. Here she came and she told us her name, which is like some name, like Gopi name or something like that. I forget it. But I said, "Oh, who is your guru?" She said, "I can't remember his name, but yeah, he's my guru." It was just like a thing that she did when she was in India. She went to the Himalayas. She did this and that. She got a name. So this is not the kind that is offensive. We're not in that kind. But those who are chanting without offense, but in a general way, we honor them. But those who have taken initiation means they are initiated into the line of Srimad Mahaprabhu, or in one of the bona fide lines, but in a bona fide way. But specifically, everyone should come to the feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And those who have taken initiated in that, we offer obeisances to them. They have made a commitment to a very high prospect. And then, of course, Nindari Sunya Vigamipshita Sangalabhya. We'll do anything and everything for a very great devotee. We should remain engaged in their service at all times. To external vision, we should even leave the service of Bhagavan to serve these devotees. Aradhananam sarvesham Vishnu aradhanam param tasmat paratarang devi tadiyanam samarchanam. From the Padma Purana. Of all types of worship, the worship of Vishnu is supreme. But even better, however, O goddess, is the worship of those who are his own. Do you know who spoke these words? It was Lord Shiva speaking to Parvati. He is always worshiping Vishnu. And she's saying, well, you're always worshiping Vishnu, but I'm worshiping you. So am I not doing the right thing? And he said, oh, no. It is Vishnu's worship is the highest, but even better is to worship the devotee. So he said, oh, then I'm all right. Of all types of worship, Abhya Charitva. I don't know why I'm having trouble with it. Abhya Charitva. Abhya Charitva Govindam Tadiyam Narchayanti Te Ye Nate Vishnu Prasadasya Bhajanam Dambika Janaha. Proud persons who worship Govinda, but do not worship those who are his own, are not recipients of Vishnu's grace. Haribo. I have become the guru of everyone. Everyone is my disciple. The name for such an attitude is pride. A Tridandi is a nirashir, nir namaskriya. He does not bless anyone, and he does not offer obeisance to anyone. Yet even the mother and the father of a Tridandi in his previous ashram should offer obeisance to him. Okay, so this last sentence may sound a little confusing, and I did feel confused there. But what he means is, he's not feeling he is the giver of blessings. Now, our Gurudev will give us blessings, but that is the blessings of his Guru. He is trying to give connection with his Guru. And his Guru is giving connection with his Guru. This is the nature. No one thinks, I am the holder of so many blessings and I can bless you. So that's a different thing. And then he does not offer obeisances to anyone. Meaning he does not offer obeisances to anyone in a material sense. He is offering obeisances only to Guru and Gauranga, and who is connected with them. But the mother and the father can offer obeisances to him because he has no personal motive. He's not proud. He's not thinking, I'm the owner of something. I am the great reservoir of all. He's not thinking like that because he is so free from nirupadi. He has no coverings of those kinds of pride and all those things. He is really, truly, sincerely, and factually devoted. He is great among everyone. Even the mother and the father of such a great personality will offer obeisances to him. But again, he's not accepting obeisances. He is trying to connect everyone to Guru and Gauranga, and his relationship with everyone is according to their relationship with Guru and Gauranga. Any questions about that? All right. Oh, and then here, the sixth instruction, we'll start this tomorrow. Dishtai Svabhava Janitya Vapashascha Dosha. Wow. All right, very nice. Jaya. Jaya Shri Upadesamrita ki Jaya. Jai Srila Goswami Pad ki Jai. Haribol. Any questions from anywhere?
Unachik.
Also, are you checking messages on Facebook?
Messages?
We missed some messages for a very long time. Because I don't have a Facebook account, and I don't really know how to get around on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just kind of, depending on you, Prabhu, if you don't mind, to check these once in a while and see if there's something that we need to address. Jai Saparika Shishi Guru Gaur Chandra Ju Jai Giraju Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnu Paramhamsa Pari Brajakacharya Asta Terasata Shri Sriman Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnu Paramhamsa Pari Brajakacharya Asta Terasata Shri Sriman Srila Bhakti Rakak Shri Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga Ki Jai Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Acharya Vrinda Ki Jai Sannyasi Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Saparshad Shri Man Mahaprabhu Ki Jai Saparshad Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai Ram Das Abhiram. There's so many beautiful. Oh, we have such a lovely chapter ahead of us. First, we're learning who Balaram is in the divine plane, to understand the glories of Balaram, and then to see how he's coming as Nityananda Prabhu. These are all important points of Siddhanta and Sambandha Gyan. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai Tadiya Sakamat Ki Jai Chaitanya Saraswat Mission Ki Jai Kol Kartal Ki Jai Hari Nam Sankirtan Ki Jai Samaveda Vaishnava Mandala Ki Jai Samaveda Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai Nittai Gaur Premanandi Hari
Jai Srimati Shri Lekha Ki Jai. Bhima Krishna and Divya Shakti Didi are with us this morning.
Haribo, our good fortune.